Hi, I'm Julie Hasson, and if we've known each other for a while, then you know I've spent the past 9 years as a professor and educational researcher. That's kind of a miracle because decades ago, I was a dyslexic, highly anxious, struggling student. But thanks to teachers like my first grade teacher, Mrs. Russell, and Mrs. Bryant, Mrs. Barentine, Mr. Rezaniti, I started to feel like I belonged in a community of learners, and I grew in competence and confidence. So when I became a researcher in 2015, the big question I wanted to explore was, how do teachers, like those teachers who impacted my life, make a lasting impact on their students' lives? What do they say and do that we carry for years, maybe even decades after we leave their classrooms? It turns out that's all about relationships, because strong student-teacher relationships impact student outcomes. In the context of a close relationship with a teacher, students will experience better academic, social, and emotional outcomes. But it's not just good for students, it's good for us as teachers too, because when we form a connection with a student and we see the impact we make on that student's life, we feel more satisfaction and joy in our work. I loved exploring student-teacher relationships, but in the middle of that research, a little something happened called the pandemic, and I had to shift a bit. And I needed to try to understand how really effective teachers navigate challenges. When everything was disrupted and turned upside down, how did they manage to still make an impact on their students' lives? It turns out they do something called reframing. When they experience a challenge, they look inside that challenge for an opportunity. It could be an opportunity to impact a student's life, to help a student grow, or it could be an opportunity to grow themselves, professionally or personally. Relationships and reframing are connected because inside every relationship, there are some challenges to navigate. But I knew there was something missing. There was something else there. Post-pandemic, I needed to explore resilience. How do we now persist in this work? When we thought as educators things were going to get easier, and they're not easier. We're still finding ourselves overcome at times with challenges and changes and things that are difficult to navigate. For the past year, I've been studying under Dr. Amit Sood of the Mayo Clinic and striving to become a certified resilience trainer. Resilience was the missing piece. Relationships, reframing, and resilience are all interconnected. And I realized this is a framework. This is a framework teachers can use to keep their batteries charged and to recharge their teacher batteries when they're feeling depleted. By focusing on relationships, especially supportive relationships, whether that's with students, colleagues, or family members, they can experience a buffer to some of that teacher stress. They can get some help with problem solving. They can cope better when things are difficult. Reframing is a big part of resilience. The mindset we use when we encounter a challenge makes a difference in the outcome of that challenge. And resilience is a big umbrella, and it encompasses so many inner resources that we bring to our work. And by growing these inner resources, we can better meet the demands of the work. This new framework, made up of relationships, reframing, and resilience, is what I'm calling the Teacher Recharge Framework. It's not complete yet. I continue to explore it. It continues to change and evolve, and I love sharing what I'm learning about it with you. You can find more information on my new website, teacherrecharge.com, and I know you will see things about this framework if we follow each other on social media. But I have to admit, sometimes I still feel like that anxious kid from decades ago, because it's a little scary to send something you're working on out into the world. But I'm just a little more curious than I am afraid. And I'm so passionate about helping teachers that drives me to keep going even when I'm feeling a little resistant or wanting to give up. And I hope by doing that, I give you permission to do big, scary things too. Thank you so much for supporting this work. Your support of the Teacher Recharge Framework means so much to me. Your support for all of my work over the past 9 years means more than I can say. So check it out. Let me know what you think, and I hope it helps all of the teachers stay longer, grow stronger, and keep making an impact. Thank you.